ప్రశాంత్ వర్మకు ఉన్నటువంటి ఒక స్టైల్ బికాస్ హీ కన్సీవ్డ్ ఇట్ అండ్ ఆయన గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ రైటర్స్ రాసిన దానికి మీకున్న దానికి దేర్ డెఫినెట్ కాంట్రాస్ట్ స్టైల్ ఉంటుంది. కాంట్రాస్ట్ ఉండొచ్చు, ఒకటే ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ 2 different styles ఫర్ షూర్లీ. ఫ్రమ్ వాట్ హీస్ రిటర్న్ టు వాట్ you've conceived or తీసిన దానికి, was it difficult for you to were you trying to fit into Prashanth's shoes or were you trying to like అది తీసుకుని దాన్ని మనం కంప్లీట్గా ఓన్ చేసుకుని మన వేలో ఆర్గానిక్గా తీసుకెళ్దాం అనేది? Did you have that kind of discussion with your department or the writers that you had with you?
See, when you are working on a story that has been conceived by a writer already,
correct,
the reason you are attracted to the story is because the architecture is already in place.
Lovely.
The fundamental building blocks are already in place. So for me as a director, I'm looking at some deeper, newer avenues or things that I can explore.
Yeah.
Visually or dramatically, or from a genre perspective, anything to do with sci-fi. So I'm only bringing a cinematic perspective or a geeky perspective to what more can be done. Adding some more dimension maybe to a character, or adding one more dimension to a plot or an idea. That sort of definite sort of world building will be there.
Yeah.
But if the foundation was not already there,
correct,
it is already put together so well, I'm just embellishing it. I'm just maybe painting something here or maybe smoothening something that works in my sort of maybe my space or my creative space. So I'm a very visual filmmaker. Like every filmmaker is very visual, but for me locations and putting characters in context of the locations are very important. Especially in a story like this, we had to find a geography where these people feel like they are really trapped. So we made an extra effort to really kind of go out there and look for those kind of locations. Adi Coorg avachchu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands avachchu. We went all out to kind of really get that terrain. That terrain was very important. So yes, I think, see, when you are already given such juicy material, it is actually easier for the team to be inspired by what is already there and kind of embellish it. Or our job is really to kind of string the threads. Also the challenge is you're working with such a big cast, so it's very important that those scenes which involve groups of actors, they all have to have a sort of energy to it. So our job, as when we were writing it or we were working on the material that Prasanth had sent us, was to make sure all those little ends were clicking, just tying up some loose threads, embellishing some points, just doing a little bit of polish. Maybe, see, I'm also a sci-fi geek. I grew up with Steven Spielberg's films, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and films that he produced like Back to the Future. So sci-fi as a genre is something fairly new for Telugu audiences. And I wanted to make something which is not ultra serious or ultra deep. I wanted it to be entertaining. I want it to be fun. And wherever possible, if there is some dark humor, try to bring that out also. I didn't want it to be an overtly serious, oka dark sci-fi. Atla kaakunda make a very entertaining survival story anedi oka idea undedi. So like coming back to your point, when you have great material, so that's the fundamental blocks are already there, so it makes it much easier for the writer.
I understood from what you said, like structure on the architectural, me bhashalo cheppalante, the architecturally structure is so well built already that you just had to kind of do the interior kind of stuff, and then whatever painting it here and there and making it better. But what is really interesting as an actor ga naak kani, and tomorrow when audience also watch it, Prasanth Varma and sci-fi or survival and inventment, because for the kind of films that he's already done, మనకి ఒక కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ ఎక్స్పెక్టేషన్ కథలో ఉంటూ, బట్ ద విజన్ దట్ యూ గాట్ ఇన్ టు ద ఫిల్మ్ మేకింగ్లో మీరు అన్నట్టు ఆ జియోగ్రఫికల్లీ చేసినటువంటి దీనివల్ల ద కాంట్రాస్ట్, ఆ ఫ్యూజన్ ఇస్ ఈవెన్ మోర్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్. యాజ్ అన్ యాక్టర్గా దట్ వాజ్ వెరీ ఎక్సైటింగ్ ఫర్ మీ.
ఈవెన్ నేను కూడా ఇప్పుడు లెట్స్ సే ఇమాజిన్ ద స్టోరీస్ లైక్ ఎ బేబీ, సో వేరే వాళ్ళు అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు. సో దెన్ దే విల్, అంటే వాళ్ళ నర్చర్ చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళు పెద్దవాళ్ళని చేస్తారు. సో సమ్ టైమ్స్ నేను ఒకసారి షూట్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు అయితే కనుక ఐ వాజ్ క్వైట్ సర్ప్రైజ్డ్ అనమాట. ఏంటి ఇదంతా మన రాసి వేరే డైరెక్టర్కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి విజన్ చాలా డిఫరెంట్గా ఉంటుంది. యూ కెనాట్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ ఇట్ టు బి ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ సేమ్ యాజ్ యూ, బట్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ బ్యూటీ, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ గ్రాండ్నెస్ టు ఇట్ అనమాట. సో యా, ఐ మీన్ ఇట్ ఇస్ క్వైట్ ఎక్సైటింగ్, లైక్
కొలాబరేటివ్ గా జరిగినది. ఒక ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ రైట్ ఫిట్, I think it's brilliant product by because and that's what is our show.
Films like Adbhutam, where I gave the story and my friend Malik directed it. సో సినిమా చూస్తే నేనైతే అలా నేను ఇంకొకలా చేసేవాడిని,
అవును,
బట్ దానికన్నా ఇది ఇంకా బాగుంటుంది. సో ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ అనమాట. సో అలాగా అనీష్ విజన్ అనేది చాలా డిఫరెంట్ గా వచ్చింది, విచ్ ఇస్ ఈవెన్ బెటర్ దెన్ వాట్ ఐ హ్యాడ్ ఇమాజిన్.
ఓ లవ్లీ, దట్స్ క్రేజీ. అండ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్, ఇందాక మీరు జియోగ్రఫీ అని చెప్పి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు కదా, కథ రాసి మీరు కూడా కథ డిస్కషన్స్ తర్వాత వన్స్ యూ స్టార్టెడ్ లొకేషన్ రిక్కీ స్టార్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత, has the location that you worked in influenced the making of the show in a different way?
Definitely. I think see, that's what happens to you as a filmmaker. A location or a location determines how the drama should unfold, you know. So one of the things that happened is the jungle that we were shooting in, it was inviting us to bring more of the drama outside the house and into the jungle. Endukante it gave me an opportunity to push that fear factor even more.
True.
Endukante we were shooting in a gorgeous coffee plantation in Coorg,
and we had 60 feet tall trees.
60 feet tall trees. You can't see the sky. Like light leaks in there beautifully. It looks very, very mysterious and very sinister. So one of the things definitely that the location inspired me was to take scenes out from where they were originally,
bring the drama out,
kind of dramatize and bring it out into the jungle. And I think it added to the drama, it added to this, to just the intensity in our storytelling.